Week 16. We got one more game tomorrow, but that game is not really important. I think I got my 6 already, and I'm going to run through them. Welcome to another edition of Pick 6 Unscripted 101 podcast, folks. Again, you know where this show is at. So, Pod Show, Beat Fact Music, the Pod Show at Beat Fact Music. Just type it in. I'm telling you guys, if you haven't listened to an episode, please do. Like, not just because it's my podcast, but I give you guys something that is pretty innovative. And what that is not one of these pod shows that you spend 2-3 hours on. It's very quick, very simple. You get a good listen in 20 to 25 minutes. And again, the Pod Show by Beat Fact Music. Just type it in, Spotify, Apple, YouTube. It's all there. But folks, and before I even get on to the show, man, peeps, man, why are you guys clowning and bothering Travis Hunter? Leave him alone. Let him get through this on his own. Let Travis Hunter deal with this on his own, please, man. We got to stop giving advice. Most of us need to give ourselves advice, especially the decisions and choices we either made in the past or currently making. Let Travis Hunter do his thing. He's about to be a top pick in the NFL draft. Congratulations to him again for winning the Heisman. But let's get to the show. So I'm going to start with the Saturday games. I think they were both interesting games. First of all, before I get to the first game, shout out to Tank Dell. Get well soon. Everything will be great. God's got you in good hands, and you're going to be back and doing great things. So shout out to Tank Dell. So first order of business, Chiefs beat the Texans 27-19. This game looked very sloppy. I don't know. The Texans, C.J. Stroud having a sophomore year, he's been very sloppy this year, but this is what happens, when you had one of those kind of great first years as a rookie and a lot of people didn't expect it. I mean, Stroud went for 244. It was 23 for 39, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. I mean, he did what he could, but Mahomes, again, pedestrian, 28 for 41, 261 touchdown, no interceptions. He did what he had to do. Kareem Hunt had a rushing touchdown. Mahomes had a rushing touchdown. Of course, Xavier Worthy got a catch for a touchdown. Shout out to Tank Dell again. Get well soon. It was 6 receptions, 98 yards, 1 touchdown. I thought that he probably would have gotten 120 yards the way he was going in that game. He was absolutely fantastic in that game, playing so well. The Chiefs go to 14-1. Pretty much, as far as I believe, they're going to lock up the number 1 seed. You're going to have to go through Kansas City to get to the Super Bowl. Whoever's ready to do that, Buffalo, you're going to have to go to Kansas City again. Are you ready for that? But even before Kansas City, they're probably going to have to go through a bunch of other teams. This playoffs is going to be very interesting. But let me just get down to the next game. But Chiefs win again 27-19, and they continue to find ways to win. That's what championship teams do, correct? The next game in order, got to go with Baltimore. Division game. Baltimore versus their arch rivals, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Lamar had his classic Lamar-like game. He threw only 23 times. He had, 15 completions, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. He was only sacked once, which I was surprised. He had 9 carries for 22 yards. Of course, he's a second running back on the depth chart as far as I'm concerned. King Henry had 24 carries for 162. He just ran. Russell did his thing, 217, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, but it was just one of those games, and they just couldn't get it together. Zay Flowers, man, 5 receptions for 100 yards. I don't know. Zay's coming up. Mark Andrews with his touchdown. Isaiah Likely finally showed up since week 1. He had a fantastic week 1. Finally had a touchdown. Finally did some things in week 16. Rashad Bateman had 1 touchdown, 1 catch actually. So Ravens 34-17, and they've also clinched a playoff spot. So both the Ravens and Steelers are in the playoffs, and who knows, they might play each other in the first round. Stay tuned for that. Like I said, NFL postseason this season is going to be unbelievable. Next order of business, division game, Bengals and Browns, 24-6. I had a chance to watch this through Red Zone, and I'll say this, the Browns quarterback situation is abysmal right now. Abysmal, dismal, whatever word you want to use. It's not good. I don't know what to say. Dorian Thompson-Robinson didn't do anything as far as I'm concerned. Had his one moment there with that little run that he had with the throw in the fourth quarter. But besides that, he was 20 for 34, 157, 2 interceptions. He didn't throw a touchdown. But Joe Burrow, in a season that many would say would be an MVP candidate if it wasn't for the fact that the Bengals are 7-8 and 2-5 at home. 2-5 at home. 23 excuse me, folks. 23 completions, 30 attempts, 252, 3 touchdowns, no picks. I mean, come on. And of course, Jamar Chase had his touchdown in the game, 6 receptions for 97. T. Higgins, 8 receptions, 58. I mean, it's typical Njoku doing his thing for Cleveland, despite whoever the quarterback is. But the Browns need a quarterback, and they need a quarterback. I don't know what they're going to do in the draft. They're 3-12, and I don't know what they're going to do in the draft. Bengals win 24-6, and Cleveland is in the doghouse once again, looking for some type of hope. Okay, let me see who I got. I got somebody else here. I got a few, but I want to see who I want to pick because there are some interesting games here that I want to go through. But I want to go through this one here. The Eagles and Commanders. Wow. The Eagles, despite the chaos and the noise and all the other crap, they're right there in the thick of things. I mean, they came into this game 12-2. They were 6-2 on the road. 6-1 on the road, and Jalen Hurts early on in the game left with a concussion. He was seeing stars, and he's like, giving the thumbs up like I'm good, but we all saw that he was not seeing anything. At one moment, I think he thought he was Batman, but he wasn't. So, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Kenny Pickett came to the game. Oh, Lord. 14 completions, 24 attempts, 143, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Don't expect anything from him. Jaden Daniels, a rookie, again having that spectacular rookie year. 24 for 39, 258, 5 touchdowns, 2 picks. I mean, this game was just one of those games. Just like Buffalo and Detroit, just like Buffalo and the Rams almost 2.5 weeks ago. It's just one of those things. And by the way, folks, A.J. Brown is happy because he had 8 receptions, 97 yards, and a touchdown. So as long as A.J. Brown is catching touchdowns, he's good. Saquon, 29 carries, 152 touchdowns. I think he's telling people, hey, folks, come on, man, MVP. It's right here for me, man. So Commanders 36-33. Commanders are 10-5. They're going into the playoffs. Eagles, of course, going into the playoffs. So, like I said, the playoffs are going to be very interesting this postseason. And when you see a game like that and the way it went back and forth, of course, with Washington scoring that last-minute touchdown, you never know what else could happen. So that's what's up with that. The next game I'm going to go to is going to be Vikings and Seahawks. Wow. It was a battle. Like, if you watch the game, it was a battle. There was nothing. Anybody could have won this game. Geno Smith came back after people thought he wouldn't play this week, but he did. 31 for 43, 314, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I mean, of course, and then the counterpart is his opponent, Sam Darnold, 22 for 35, 246, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Justin Jefferson was 10 receptions, 144, 2 touchdowns. Classic Justin Jeff. Jordan Addison had his 5 for 35, which is very, very low, but it's whatever. He did his thing. You know, it's either one or the two is going to get you. And this week was Jeff, so that was good. Jackson Smith, I can't even pronounce my guy's name. I'm not going to pronounce it and then get it wrong. But he had 8 receptions, 95 yards, 1 touchdown. DK Metcalf, 3 receptions, 57 yards, 1 touchdown. They were covering him pretty well. My takeaway from this game is this was a playoff game for both teams, because when I say playoff game, it wasn't about the playoff atmosphere. It was simply because both teams are trying to get their positioning. Seahawks trying to stay first place in the division. The Vikings trying to catch Detroit for first overall in the conference so they can get that bye potentially. So this had a playoff game atmosphere. It was a great game. Seattle fans were loud, and it was just one of those things. And Seattle now 8-7. I think the Rams are leading that division at the moment. It's going to probably come down to these two teams at the end of the season. Vikings are 6-1 on the road, 13-2, and still chasing that number 1 seed. So it's going to be interesting the rest of the way. It's going to be interesting to see how this pans out. But you know what? It doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't matter what your positioning is in the playoffs. The question is, are you ready to win? Are you ready to compete? And are you ready to do something? So, yeah. So the next order of business, yes, I'm going to talk about them this week. I am going to talk about them because they went against this guy that I always like to watch, because he's always erratic in some instances. But in other instances, he's playing great. He does some magical things. So, yes, Dallas Cowboys versus the Bucks, Sunday Night Football. Of course, Cooper Rush, 26 for 35, 292, 1 touchdown, no picks, was sacked once. And, of course, the man he's going against, the man of the hour, everybody's always keeping their eyes on him, which one is going to show up. Baker Mayfield, 31 for 43, 303, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. And it's just a classic Baker Mayfield, you know what I mean? He had some of these throws that were like, what the hell? But it's classic Baker. You're always going to get that from Baker. People are always going to keep their eyes on Baker because Baker's that type of player who's always going to do things like that. Bucky Irving had 16 carries, 60 yards for 1 touchdown. CeeDee Lamb, 7 receptions for 105. You know, it's just one of those things where it's just one of those games. But at the end of the day, Dallas came up with a forced fumble at the end and recovered, sealed the deal, and that's what it is. So Dallas at 7-8. Can you imagine 7-8, 2-6 at home, and the Bucs are 8-7, 5-3 on the road. It's going to be interesting to see who wins that NFC South with them in Atlanta, with all the stuff going on in Atlanta. You know, with Bucs always playing which Baker's going to show up. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes. So that's my pick 6. But before I go, I got some honorable mentions. Number 1 honorable mention, the Bills in that friggin' freezing cold in Buffalo found a way to, you know, stave off their division rivals, the Patriots. Of course, the report with Josh having the broken hand, blah, 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 whatever. He came out and won the game. Another shout out to my guy, Bryce Young. He did it. I said it. He's going to screw somebody over. Today, he officially put the Arizona Cardinals on a flight to Cancun What a performance. What a game by those guys. Chuba Hubbard with that rushing touchdown to win the game. I mean, it's just unbelievable, you know. Sometimes you need to take a seat on the bench to figure out what to do, and he's figured it out since he's come back. And another shout out to Anthony Richardson. Good win against your division rivals, man. I mean, I want to see these kids do great things. They got to do great things. There's no other way. Either you go up or you go down. And when you're down, you got to find a way up. So that's what it is. For all those people out there that are celebrating the holidays, happy holidays. For all those people that are celebrating whatever holiday that they're celebrating, enjoy the holiday. Stay safe. Ladies and gentlemen, again, if you want to check out this podcast, just type in The Pod Show by Beat Fact Music, The Pod Show by Beat Fact Music, or just even type in Beat Fact Music. BeatFakMusic, and this will pop up. Apple, Spotify, YouTube, whatever. It doesn't matter. Folks, wherever you are tonight, in the morning, in the afternoon, whatever type of the day, wherever you are in the world, this was another edition of Unscripted 101. I'm out. Peace.